Hello and welcome back to the Critically Clueless. I'm Monk, and today we are in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous doing yet another character build. Today's character build is going to be a Magus. It is going to be a sword saint, and this video was actually requested by a viewer. So again, if you guys have a build that you would like some tips on, or you're not exactly sure how to build them, let me know down in the comments. I'll do my very best to get that video out to you. Alternatively, we do have a Discord as well, and that link will be down in the description. Feel free to jump in, come say hi, and have a chat about what you're stuck with on the game or just what you're enjoying the most. Now, there's a couple of things I should point out. This is a beginner's guide, so this isn't a mid-game or late-game build. I don't go into too much in-depth on how to actually build your character as you go on. This is if you're going to be starting a game as this character, or you want to turn one of your companions into this character. Also, fair warning, guys, the Magus is one of the hardest builds in the game to actually master. They're incredibly complicated. They deal in melee attacks, and they also cast magic. You will be playing the entire game with one weapon in one hand while wielding a spell in the other one. So keep that in mind, guys. You do need a weapon free in order to cast those spells. You do normally wear light armor, but as you progress through the game, you will eventually be able to get your hands on heavy armor for this character as well. It can be quite a tanky build, dealing massive amounts of melee damage, and ultimately you are looking to buff yourself, enchant your weapons, and that's how you get the best uses out of your spell. You can also be a healer if you wanted to. But anyway, that's what we're going to be going through within this video. Now let's get on with the actual build. Now for this class, we're looking for dexterity and intelligence. Now, while humans are a very valid choice, for this build, we're going to be going for elf. This also means we can use or have elven weapon familiarity, which I also think is a nice little bonus. When it comes to our racial heritage, we're going to go for Lore Master. With this, you get a bonus 2 on knowledge of arcane and the use of magical device checks. For background selection, we're going to go regional, and we're going to go River Kingdom's Daredevil. Now, this gives us proficiency in the short sword and the dagger. The short sword would work really well for us. But what it also does is gives us a bonus 2 to AC against attacks of opportunity, which I really like. Now, when it comes to our stats, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to have 13 in strength, because strength is important to us because we are a melee class. We're also going to have 16 in dexterity. We're going to have 14 in constitution, because we are going to be out there on the front line quite a lot. And we're also going to have 18 in intelligence. That will mean we're going to need to tank wisdom and tank charisma though. Intelligence really is worth putting up. It's even worth putting up to 20, because the more our intelligence is, the more powerful our spells are, and it also means we can remember more when we rest. But within this build, we're going to take strength slightly down, and we're going to pop that into a little bit more health, a little bit more dexterity, meaning that we're going to be going for finesse weapons anyway. Therefore, we're going to need high dexterity to actually get them to hit. Next up, we have the skills, and if you've been following my build up until now, then you should have 4 points to allocate. Athletics and mobility are most important to me. I also like knowledge of arcana, and I think that use of magical device is a pretty good option as well. Then we have the feats. Picking the feat for you to choose for your character is one of my funnest parts actually going through, because there's always so many options. I do think that weapon finesse is a really good option, especially as you can tell that we're going to be using one-handed weapons. Going down that dexterity route means that possibly we could take a couple of extra points off strength as well if you wanted to do that. And of course, if we scroll down the list as well, we should be able to find ourselves spell focus. And in spell focus, there's a couple of very, very good options that I like to use. One of them being enchantment. Let's see if we can find it down here. Yep, there it is. And there is enchantment. In fact, there's a couple of decent options here. Depending on how you like to play. I just think that enchantment works really well with this build and this character. Next up, we have chosen weapon. This is a nice little bonus for this class that makes us more proficient in that weapon. Honestly, guys, pick what works for you. Remember that you're going to be using a one-handed weapon, and depending on whether you want to go more strength or dexterity, depends on what weapon would work well for you as well. The rapier would obviously work very, very well. They're very common in the game, especially early game as well. But I like the Elven Curve Blade, especially with the build that we're going through. I just think it works really well, and it goes with our class and possibly the way we're going to role play this character. Up next, we get to choose some spells. We actually get to choose 7 spells, and Burning Hands is a great area of effect to take, especially early game. You just are able to attack so many characters at once, especially if you have the option to have more mob spawning in. They do seem to bunch up, meaning that you can actually attack, a decent amount in one go. And it's one of the only early spells in the game that allows you to actually do that. Another spell I like to pick up is Enlarge Person. I just think whether you have it or someone with it in your party to have it, I just think it adds and becomes very, very useful when it comes to actually doing a bit of crowd control. Magic weapons, again, or magic missile is probably the most overpowered early spell you can get. Magic weapon works really well with this character. Shield just makes sense, and after that you can have a little play about with what it is you want to put on. Vanish could be a decent option. I also quite like Snowball, and Grease as well is a really good one to have too. After that, guys, we have got to pick our deity. Honestly, just pick what you want, pick what alignment suits your character. I always try to align them up with the weapon that I'm using, because I think it just makes a little bit more sense. And of course, so I can have the alignment, right with the party that I'm running with. But guys, that is my Sword Saint character. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. This is my second Magus build right now. And don't forget, if there's a build that you want to see, let me know down in the comments. I'll do my very best to get it out to you guys as soon as I can. But if you have enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I also have recently released a book for pre-order on Amazon. It will be in Kindle Unlimited as well. It is 7 Broken and Bound, and it is a sci-fi dystopian. But guys, I've been a monk, we've been Critically Clueless, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy, and of course, as ever, happy gaming.